You could. It would need a massive effort from Red Bull to do it. I think McLaren, you're absolutely right. They really looked in control of proceedings yesterday, didn't they? The car working well in a complete range of corners that we got here. Look at that, there's some heavy hitters there.
The Crown Prince of Bahrain, Luca de Montezemolo of Ferrari, and Lawrence Stroll of Aston Martin, very good friends, the three of them, having a chat about, I don't know, is your car worse than mine, is my car worse than yours, and the Crown Prince saying, as Bahrain are the majority stakeholders in McLaren, our car's better than both of you. I think that's how that conversation's going.
Yeah, there's a good chance of that. But McLaren absolutely look like they've got a great chance to deliver a home victory for those Bahraini owners for the first time in the history of the Bahrain Grand Prix. 1-2 yesterday in the final free practice by some margin. However, George Russell was a match pretty much for the entire lap for the McLarens, apart from one corner, turn 6 into turn 7, so a combination of corners. So apart from that, he was there. Max Verstappen was a match for Oscar Piastri's P1 time until we got to turn 11, and then his rear tyres were cooked, overheated, and then the last 3 corners he dumped a lot of lap time. What has changed between yesterday and today?
This is big.
This is big. Apart from the changes to the setup to the cars that we expect, Pirelli have reduced the rear tyre pressures by 1 psi, which is very unusual. Normally we're used to them going up by half or 1 psi. They've reduced it, and that will help anybody who's suffering with rear tyre overheating.
Why is that?
Because the more air you've got, it expands more, and it balloons up basically. These tyres, you lose the contact patch, you lose grip, and just keeping the pressures a bit lower just gives the drivers a little bit more grip, especially on these hot surfaces. You've got 2 different issues. You've got the top surface of the tyre, which overheats with sliding. We've got the inner carcass temperature as well, which will, you've got 2 separate things to manage for the drivers and the teams. And just having lower pressures will just help to manage those temperatures a bit.
So a bit like a balloon, if you just reduce the pressure of that balloon, when it gets hot and the air
To hold it, isn't it?
Yeah.
If it's completely full, it's quite hard to hold it when you're doing your keepy uppies. But if it's just got a little bit of give, it is a bit easier to get your fingers into the balloons and hold on to them.
Excellent. Your science lesson is over, ladies and gentlemen, for the time being, unless, of course, Dr. Kravitz down in the pit lane has more scientific information for us. Good afternoon, sir.
Hello, Crofty. Hello, Karun. Hello, everybody from the pit lane. No, Crofty, but I do have Nature Watch for you. Does anyone want to come down and do some leaf clearing upping?
Leaf?
Yes, leaf.
We're in the desert.
Leaves.
Wow.
Look at the pit entrance, Karun. You might say we're in the desert, but there are plenty of trees and leaves around here, and the wind has been blowing them all onto the pit entrance. Now, I do believe we're going to start. The session has already started, has it not?
It has.
Yes.
I don't think they're going to stop for leaves, although heaven knows we've had some red flags and reasons, not least in the Bahrain test.
Burning leaves, maybe.
For burning, no more burning. Yeah, I'm yet to see any sort of marshals with brooms. I'm doing my bit, Crofty, to be Nature Watch. Shall I put it behind the Parc Fermé fence?
Please do.
Okay, so it won't go onto the track. I think I can just hear one car coming out, so we're going to have some action. But yeah, they're going to have to drive through those leaves. As for some of the top teams, they are in no hurry at all to get going. See Lando Norris, himself a keen fan of Nature Watch in various guises on various different channels. Yeah, he's in no hurry to go out. Maybe you could underline that the conditions are not quite yet right or representative, and that they maybe don't have so much to learn because they were broadly happy with the setup of their car. Not so Lewis Hamilton in the Ferrari, I've got to tell you. He is in the car, strapped in and ready to go. So if you do see people going out pronto, it means that they've made some setup changes overnight and they are ready to go. But that's a rather cool picture, isn't it? Andreas Stella in some very nice sunglasses chatting to the championship leader.
Yes, championship leader by 1 point, Lando Norris. Ted Kravitz, meanwhile, branching out in a different direction and removing leaves from the track. It's what I would call a tremendous effort from Mr. Kravitz today. By the way, 1,120 palm trees around this circuit. I'd like to say I've counted every single one of them. That would be a lie.
Very good.
But I'm reliably informed there are 1,120.
Well, we're into the final pre-practice session, you still haven't wheeled out your camel farm stats. So
I am keeping the camel stats for later on, just in case we need them round about lap 40, because things aren't very exciting on the track. I doubt I'm going to use my camel stats this weekend, because it's not Japan, and you can overtake here, and I think we're going to get a very different race. But I want to go back to, and we're seeing Max Verstappen there at the back of the garage, to Ted talking about Ferrari. Substantial upgrades to that Ferrari car for this weekend, you know, right from the front right to the diffuser, and all centered around the floor and the edges of the floor. Have they worked, or do they need to go back to the drawing board?
There was nothing yesterday that suggested that they are going to be challenging McLaren this weekend, unless they were running a huge tank of fuel and running the engines, you know, on a completely flat engine mode. But there's nothing yesterday that jumped out from the timesheets, was there, from Ferrari? We'll see if they've needed overnight to try and optimize what they've put onto the car, and if it delivers the results in qualifying.
Well, it was at one stage the Lewis Hamilton lap on the medium tyres, but that quickly got engulfed by others, didn't it?
Yeah. So just in terms of what Ted was saying, why are we only seeing one car out on track at the moment? Ollie Behrman, Esteban Ocon, the other Haas going out as well. It's to do with temperature. So the temperature peaked at 49 degrees about an hour ago when we had the Formula 3 race. It is steadily dropping. It's now down to 43 degrees. We expect it for qualifying to settle around sort of mid to low 30s, 33 to 35 degrees. So it's still a good chunk hotter than we expect to see in qualifying, and therefore, with the sensitivity of these Pirelli tyres, it kind of makes running at this stage a little bit irrelevant.
And Ollie Behrman on the hard tyre suggesting there's still a bit of race fine-tuning that Haas would like to be doing in that car. The helicopter cam has been brilliant. You might have seen through turn 4, the hairpin at the end of one of the DRS zones, that on the exit there is a wider white line. So the drivers have a little bit more leeway to run a little bit wider on the exit. That's been repainted overnight, and a change to the track. This is the penultimate corner. This is the final corner, according to the FIA map, as Ollie Behrman makes his way around that double apex 14 and 15 with a 1:37.8. If you want to ride on board with Ollie Behrman, you can do so. Esteban Ocon also on the track, and Lewis Hamilton too, and there we are on board with Lewis at the moment. That QR code will take you straight to the Sky Sports app. You need your login to make sure you can utilise that on board with the team radio too. And if you're watching on Sky Q, Sky Glass, Sky Stream or Now, you can press the interactive button and ride on board with the 5-time Bahrain Grand Prix winner, who's making his way at a very slow, sedate, perfect for the conditions pace into turn 10.
I'm not going to argue with you about the last 2 corners being 1 corner, because we did that in testing, but we had 8 hours to fill in a day.
What's it say there? 14. 50.
I said I'm not having this. We're going to save the viewers of the next 54 minutes, because that's how long this debate will go on for.
It just makes me laugh that you all turn up and talk about the final corner, and then the FIA say, oh, by the way, it's 2. And probably feels like 1 in the car, to be fair.
Yes. Anyway, McLaren in no hurry to go anywhere, and that's a sign of confidence. That's a sign that you're happy with the car, you're happy with the work done yesterday, you're happy with, you know, changes you're making to track the change of track conditions, with the track getting cleaner and the temperature changes, and you're confident to wait. The fact that Ferrari and Haas have gone out suggests that they've got a few more things that they want to test before the temperatures drop.
Right, on board with Lewis Hamilton, facing from the rear and into turn 1. Take us through this lap, Karun.
So he turns sharply right, then just really, really got to be careful with the traction on the way out of turn 2. Then climb up the hill steeply towards turn 4, turn 3. Another corner that doesn't really exist, Crofty, but we'll come back to that. Out of turn 4, this is the white line that you mentioned, and Lewis
went over it.
Well, quite some way over it as well. So if it was qualifying, this lap would be disallowed. But middle sector of the lap, down towards turn 8. We saw him have a lock-up here yesterday on one of his push laps and had to abort, but on this occasion, a little bit wide of the apex, but we've seen a lot of cars these days with these big, long cars choosing to avoid the inside curve on tight hairpins like that. 9 and 10, very, very tricky under braking. So easy to lock up the inside front, DRS open, down the back straight, and chucks it into this left-hander of 11, comfortably flat through 12. He's aborted this lap, I think.
He has. You might have noticed, just hear it in the background now. It's not Karun's heavy breathing. The wind has picked up.
Yeah.
And Ollie Behrman already radioing to his team pit wall to say, yeah, the wind is a lot stronger here today. Look, and a handy flag from the Lewis Hamilton fans in the grandstand to let you know the wind's direction, which I think is pushing a tailwind into turn one or not?
No, I was looking at what's good here in Bahrain. We might see it now at Lewis, actually. He keeps going, and we look up at the top of the Royal Tower. There's a flag. Keep going up.
Come on, camera. Quite see it from the commentary box. Keep going. Oh.
But there's a flag which indicates which way the wind is blowing. And when I spotted it this morning, actually, well, a couple of hours ago, and it was a crosswind on the start-finish straight. Tailwind into turn 4 was the direction it was blowing, which is it's turned 90 degrees from yesterday. Yesterday was a headwind down the start-finish straight. So. Yeah, maybe we'll get a shot.
I can actually see a flag at the moment, and it is a bit of a headwind. It's coming across from right to left, slightly, and into your face if you are making your way down the main straight. Currently, I can see the FIA flag flying over race control. Talking of the FIA, I heard Simon talking about this, and Carlos Sainz saying it in the press conference on Thursday, where he claimed he was only 5 seconds late for the national anthem in Japan.
Yeah.
And he thought that £10,000. Oh, Stephen Gerrard here. Oh, might go and see him after the race tomorrow when West Ham beat Liverpool. We'll have a chat about that one. 4 o'clock kickoff live on Sky Sports Premier League. Yeah, the FIA press conference, Carlos Sainz saying that he felt €10,000 was a little bit unfair for a